He swallowed, the movement visible in his taut throat, a nervous bobbing of his Adam's apple. "Yes, Commodore. Sir." His mind, trained for order, steeped in the meticulous minutiae of naval regulation and the exact numerical categorization of every conceivable item, scrambled frantically to reconcile this outlandish demand with the hallowed pages of the standard Naval Supply Catalog. He was prepared for anything. Ammunition shortages that required inventive field solutions, rationing disputes that devolved into shouting matches over single ounces of powdered milk, or even a sudden infestation of aggressive, highly territorial land crabs in the PX, the Post Exchange, that required an immediate emergency, deployment of bug bombs. But garter belts? That was firmly, unequivocally, outside the quick-step purview of expected combat logistics. The very concept sent a disquieting, utterly unmilitary shiver down his spine. It felt personal. Bumble slammed his fist down again, a heavy, resounding thud that rattled the entire desk, sending pens scattering like fleeing battalions. This time, the impact sent tremors through a half-empty glass of what appeared to be muddy, brackish water, the color of stale bilge, but which Bumble, with unwavering conviction, swore was freshly purified spring water, filtered personally through 3 layers of coconut husks, and a salvage coffee filter. If the nurses, Lieutenant, those valiant angels of mercy, those dedicated purveyors of healing and comfort, toiling tirelessly and with great personal sacrifice in our base infirmary, which, might I add, is presently struggling to cope with an unprecedented influx of jungle rot cases, an alarming shortage of sterile bandages, and a critically low stock of quinine for malaria. But I digress. If those nurses, the very backbone of our healing infrastructure, need garter belts, Lieutenant, then you snap to it. Do you hear me? You move with alacrity. I mean, you shake a leg, perform a veritable fandango of procurement. You perform miracles of requisitioning. Oh, you know what I mean, man. A sense of immediate and overwhelming urgency. Quick step. Immediate and unequivocal action. This is not a request. It is a directive from the highest echelons of this command. He leaned forward, his crimson face mere inches from Quickstep's nose, his breath, hot and smelling faintly of stale cigars and antacids, washing over the younger officer. This is a matter of morale. Quickstep, utmost critical, indispensable moral. Do you comprehend the existential gravity of a lack of proper foundational undergarments in wartime? It could cripple the war effort. It could undermine the very foundations of Allied strength in the Pacific. Imagine the headlines. Man, imagine the utterly damning, humiliating, and utterly catastrophic headlines that would blast across the globe. Coral Cove Atoll crumbles, under weight of sagging hosiery. The enemy, Lieutenant, the Imperial Japanese Navy, would not only cheer, they would launch a propaganda blitz that would make our ears bleed and our hearts sink, all because our brave nurses' stockings were failing in their primary duty of remaining aloft. It is a strategic imperative. Quickstep stammered, his mind racing through arcane procurement manuals, searching for any loophole, any forgotten addendum, any obscure paragraph that might remotely address this bizarre demand. His forehead beaded with sweat, not from the heat, but from the sheer mental gymnastics required. His brow furrowed with the strain of navigating an uncharted bureaucratic sea. Sir, I'm not sure we have any requisition codes for 4 personal, elasticated hosiery fasteners, feminine issued with decorative lace trim, standard periwinkle blue. Sir, the naval bureaucracy, Commodore, with all due respect, simply hasn't caught up with the more intimate needs of our fighting forces. Sir, it is an oversight of unprecedented proportions. Sir, a lacuna in the administrative framework, a gaping hole in the fabric of military supply. He felt an uncontrollable blush creeping up his neck, engulfing his ears, turning them a vibrant scarlet. The very conversation felt unseemly, utterly unsuited to a man of his military discipline. It was as if he were discussing a deeply personal scandal rather than a logistical challenge. Bumble scoffed, blowing a plume of imaginary, acrid smoke from his unlit cigar. The gesture was pure pantomime, but the effect was undeniable, adding to his air of theatrical indignation. Codes be damned. Man, codes are for clerks. Codes are for pen pushers and petty bureaucrats. I demand results, not excuses. Results quick-step, unadulterated. Tangible results. Just find them. Invent a code if you must. Fabricate a requisition category out of. Thin air. Declare them tactical hosiery stabilizers or female leg accoutrements. High priority. Do whatever it takes. Quick step. Employ ingenuity. Utilize initiative. Unleash the full force of your administrative. Cunning. What a war. Quick step. What an utterly, profoundly, ridiculously bewildering, frustrating, and morally bankrupt war this has become. I tell you, man, my spirit is being tested. My very soul is being tried in the crucible of military absurdity. Everything, absolutely everything, is on my shoulders, man. The weight of the entire Pacific Theater, indeed, the entire global conflict, rests solely upon these aging, yet still surprisingly robust shoulders of mine. He dramatically slapped both shoulders for emphasis, grunting slightly with the effort, causing a fresh tremor to ripple through his desk and a nearby pile of urgent dispatches to slide. Perilously close to the edge, a lone, petrified cockroach, its antennae twitching nervously, scuttled across a pile of urgent messages, seeking refuge in the darkest corner of the office, fleeing the imminent chaos. Even the cockroach, it seemed, sensed the encroaching madness. Just as Quickstep was about to offer a formal apology for the perceived burden of existence, for the sheer audacity of being a living organism, while Bumble bore the weight of the world, for the cosmic injustice of having to breathe the same air as his distressed Commodore, Private Chippy Chuckles, Bumble's perpetually breathless junior aide, burst into the office like a startled jackrabbit shot from a cannon. Chippy, a nervous young man whose cap was always askew, a testament to his habit of constantly running into door frames during moments of panic, and whose glasses perpetually threatened to slide off his nose, usually during moments of extreme urgency, when he needed them most, skidded to a halt with an audible squeak of his worn sandals. His face was a mask of sheer terror, his uniform damp with perspiration. He clutched a crumpled telex form, the paper already damp with his perspiration, as if it were a ticking hand grenade, sweat beading profusely on his forehead. "Commodore, sir, urgent communique, sir," Chippy blurted, barely pausing to inhale, his chest heaving with exertion, his breath coming in ragged gasps. "I just got a message from a pal of mine at Conflict Central. Sir," an intercepted coded burst. "Sir, from a highly classified channel. Sir, highly classified, sir. It's bleeding red, sir." His voice was a breathless, high-pitched squeak, strained to the point of breaking, a sound reminiscent of a rusty hinge. "Admiral, Iron Jaw Jericho Jawbreaker is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Sir, an unscheduled, unexpected, unannounced early arrival, ahead of schedule, totally unexpected. Sir, he's bypassing all usual protocols." He gulped a convulsive swallow, his eyes wide with a mixture of raw fear and a strange, morbid awe. "Oh no, Iron Jaw Jawbreaker is coming here. Sir, the legend himself, the scourge of sloppy bases, the nemesis of disorganization, the destroyer of careers." The effect on Commodore Bumble was instantaneous and terrifying, a sudden, petrifying freeze that seemed to lock every muscle in his body. His crimson complexion deepened to a vibrant, almost violent, shade of purple, clashing horribly with the rapidly whitening knuckles clutching his now shattered cigar. His eyes, already bulging, seemed to threaten to pop clean out of their sockets, vibrating with a barely contained terror. The unlit cigar snapped cleanly in two between his clenched teeth. The dry tobacco